Okay, as promised, the tasting notes for the number one wine in 2020. This is the 2010 vintage of Castillo Ige by Marques y Murrieta. So 2010 vintage in 2020 it received as a number one wine in the Wine Spectator's list. So number one wine in the world, and Wine Spectator does this every year. So in the 2020 is the number one wine in the world. So this is very exciting because you always might be rated top 10 wines in the world, top 20 wines in the world, but this time Marques Murrieta Ige got number one wines in the world, and it's not very old vintage, so 2010 is pretty young for Marques Murrieta. The last time, to be fair, I've tasted Marques Murrieta was the 1970s vintage, and that's probably about let's say maybe 10 years ago or 9 years ago. So either in 2011 or 2012, I tasted the 1970s vintage. I think it was probably about 1979 vintage or something like that. So I was very excited when I got this, and just to put it to the test based on a layman, as a regular wine person selling wines, or as a sommelier serving these wines, and somebody asked, so I was quite curious. If somebody asked me why is this wine is rated as number one wine in the world in 2020, I say okay, now I got the opportunity to taste, so therefore let me just write down the tasting notes and see if it really makes people buy verbally without tasting, because we can't be opening these bottles for tasting all the time to customers or our guests or clients, etc. So if I could verbally relay the tasting notes and see whether you feel it is really supposed to be as the first one, the top wine in the world for the 2020 ratings. Okay, so after having tasted, earlier I tasted, so I wrote down the tasting notes. So I'm just going to read it out because it's more clear that way, as I pointed precisely. So my point is this: this is a young wine. What is important about it is young, but it is reflecting a bit about, let's say if I say it's a person, someone I met, or is somebody that we want to relate to. So this is a young person, but with a matured characteristic about this person. So you see this young dude, but with a lot of maturity about this person. So you don't see this as a youthful person, but you know that this person has substance. What is important is that the moment you start the conversation, which means the moment I start to nose it or taste it, you start to feel that it's very, this person, so let's say you are having a conversation, you feel the person is very intellectual. So you can divert the topic, so let's say from history to geology to chemistry to biology to philosophy, and the person can continue having the conversation at such a young age, having so much of knowledge like that. So it's not so common to find this in every young person. So therefore it might not be so common to find these characteristics in this kind of way in a young vintage wine. 2010 for Ige is considered very young because it's wine supposed to be kept for 20-30 years and above. So that's one thing. The next thing I notice is, if I'm conversing with this person is sophisticated. So the wine has that kind of intellectuality about it, that kind of multi-layered complexity to it, with sophistication. It has that kind of structure to it that provides with all this complexity integrated into its own style. And the other thing is that also, if I relate one of this kind of thing where the feel is of this Ige is a little bit more on arousing that kind of feelings about me to, you know, not straight away just enjoy the flavor, but also the tertiary flavors, and also try to understand the finer details of the wine. It's more like a person who's very wise and allowing you, when you are conversing with them, allowing you to have some time to digest their opinion. It's very interesting in the sense. And also when you taste this and you feel that, let's say a person at that level, a young person with so much of knowledge, intellectual, wise, and that kind of learned behavior, and you say that, you know, I think this person will be very successful, or going to be a great person in time to come. And I feel the same way with this wine, that in time to come it will be a historic vintage, or rather will say that, you know, people opening 10 years later again, so they will be like 20 years old, or 30 years later, which is about will be like almost 30 years later will be 40 years old, so 20 years later will be 30 years old, so like this. Yeah, so when you open at those kind of in the next decade and the next decade, you will feel that the wine is really living you even more surprises and impressions, and this kind of things goes down in history. So there are very few wines which actually go down in history. You have the 1982s of Bordeaux going down in history like that, 1990s, 1989 vintage of Bordeaux. Some of the wineries, they go down in history, you know, like top notch. And I think this is another, my feeling. And so in summary, basically it is like you are looking at a young person and you just look at them, and they look quite smart, quite humble, but yet very well mannered. And then you start to have the conversation and you feel that, wow, this is really intellectual person and very well learned, and you can discuss all the topics under the sun in different kinds of subjects, you know, history, geography, biology, philosophy, etc. And then sophistication and wise, and also at the same time it's a two-way conversation between the person and you, where you actually experience the flavor, and at the same time you're able to have some time for yourself to evaluate it and feel all the complexity, and then put a judgment, and then it will surprise you again with the next sip. So this is very interesting in the sense. So you be the judge, but for me that's how I feel tasting Castillo Ige 2010 vintage, which is rated as Wine Spectator's 2020 last year as the #1 wine in the world. So with that said, good luck, and hopefully you get a chance to taste as well. So, and then you can feel the same way I'm feeling.